Welcome back, and in our sports news, firstly looking at the world of tennis. Home hope Andy Murray survived the loss of the opening set to beat Spain's Daniel Gemino Traver 4-6, 6-3, 6-0, 6-0 under the centre court roof on Monday and reached the Wimbledon second round. The fourth-seeded Briton, seeking his first Grand Slam's title, came up against an inspired opponent ranked 56th in the world, who struck a succession of fierce winners to take the first set. Murray continued to struggle as the second set stayed with the serve until he managed to break out of nothing for a 5-3 lead. The Scotsman suddenly found the fluent form which brought him the Queen's title in June and won 15 games in a row to stay on course to become the first British men's singles champion at Wimbledon for 75 years. Meanwhile, top men's seed Rafael Nadal had a workout on the first day of Wimbledon on Monday in beating Michael Russell 6-4, 6-2, 6-2. The American is ranked 90th in the world, but made his illustrious Spanish opponent run. Asked who would be his biggest opponent at Wimbledon, Nadal said Ryan Sweeting in the next round.
My biggest opponent is Sweeting now. Yeah, I'm focused on my part of the draw. I'm focused on myself to play against Andy or Djokovic or Federer. All they can be in a final, and Andy all in semi-finals. So remain a lot for that. So let's talk about today. Let's talk about tomorrow.
FIFA Vice President Jack Warner has resigned and an investigation into corruption allegations against him has been dropped, World Football's governing body said on Monday. Warner, who had been suspended pending an ethics committee probe into bribery claims, has quit from all of his posts in international football, including his position as CONCACAF president. Trinidadian Warner was being investigated in a cash for votes scandal relating to the election campaign of then FIFA presidential candidate Mohammed bin Hammam that rocked the governing body earlier this month. Warner, who following his suspension had threatened to unleash a football tsunami by revealing contents of emails with FIFA's president Sepp Blatter before backing down, who had been involved with the governing body for nearly 30 years. And finally in sports, Britain's Alistair Brownlee defied the wind and the rain to win his second triathlon world championship race in 2 weeks in Kitzbühel in Austria. Brownlee was the fastest man in the swim, equal fastest in the bike leg, and then blitzed the field in the run for a win that took him to the top of the overall standings. Brownlee was first out of the water and then stayed at the front of the bike for 5 laps before making a break with fellow Britons Stuart Hayes and Ronaldo Colucci of Brazil. In the women's event, Canada's Paula Findlay became the most successful woman in history with another World Championship win. Helen Jenkins finished second to Findlay, as she had in Madrid 2 weeks previously, with Sarah Groff of the United States in third. And finally this evening, for a second year in a row, New York non-profit organisation Sing for Hope has installed pianos around the 5 boroughs of New York City as a way to bring art to the people. Sing for Hope's pop-up pianos is expected to reach over 2 million people during its 2-week run and is the world's largest street piano installation. All of the pianos double as works of art as they have been individually designed and decorated by local artists, students and volunteers.
Last year we had 60 uprights. This year we have 60 uprights plus 28 grands. So 88 because that's the number of keys on a keyboard. And it's the largest street piano installation in the world to date. And the cool thing is every one of these amazing instruments is an individually created, credited professional artwork.
At the end of the project, the pianos will be donated to Sing for Hope to New York schools, hospitals and community organisations served by the organisation year-round. And now let's take a look at the local and international weather forecast for tomorrow. And before we head out, here are the top stories again. Preparations for FNC elections 2011 in full swing, says committee. UAE leads IT security in the region. Plane crash in Russia kills 44 people. And UAE oil income rises 30% in 2010. Well, that brings us to the end of the bulletin. As always, we'd love to hear your comments. You can contact us at news@city7tv.com or by calling us on 04 367 2230. From the entire news team, it's goodbye for now.